So the first part of the very lengthy MLB draft was tonight, and the A's had a few different picks, two of which are sort of local guys, and we are going to see now who, of course, will be hopefully part of the future A's great teams, as the A's historically have been pretty good at drafting. A lot of their great players over the years have been drafted by them, as obviously with the lack of funding, the A's can't sign big guys. So when you can't sign, big superstars, you have to resort to drafting them, and that's what they've done over the years. So I do have faith in their draft front. So yeah, their first selection was 19th overall. They picked catcher from Arizona, Daniel Susak, and I think my only concern was with this pick was that the A's already have two great catching prospects, Shea Langeliers, who just won MVP of the Futures game, and then you have Tyler Soderstrom, who we've heard a lot about as well. And so having a third catching prospect, I mean, who knows? Maybe they'll convert one to a first baseman or outfielder, but I think, that's something they have to worry about at depth. Maybe they're thinking about the future, but I think with Daniel Susak, the A's were thinking, who's the best one on the board, and that was definitely him. I mean, he's honestly considered one of the best Arizona Wildcats in their baseball history. He was one of the only players in their history to have 100+ hits in a season, just their 10th player in school history. He hit 366 last year with 12 home runs, 61 RBIs, 19 doubles, and 50 runs scored. He has 181 hits in his career, and is the most out of any player in their first two seasons at Arizona University since at least 1998. That's a quote. So that's a very, very good, I think, draft for the A's. I think the position, worry is there, but I don't think it's a big concern. So he's definitely a guy that's going to have some value. Susak, I think it's a good pick. He's from Roseville, which is about 100 miles from where the A's play, and it's very local, I mean, in the grand scheme of things. And so I think it's a really good pick for the A's. He also has a lot more experience than some of the other guys. Some of these guys are getting drafted out of high school, and I think this guy definitely has potential. Now, at the 56th pick, the A's selected Henry Bolte. He's also a local guy from Palo Alto, so Bay Area guy. He was drafted in the second round. He's a local high school outfielder, and he was from Palo Alto High School. He was 40th on their pre-draft board, and I think he's pretty good overall. I don't think he's obviously as good as some of the first-round guys or even some of the second-round guys, but from what I've heard, he's a pretty versatile guy, and I think it was a good pick from what I've seen. I think obviously he's a guy that'll probably stick around maybe in college ball or, in the minors, but I think for now it was a pretty good pick. I think Henry Bolte, he's local. I think the A's were going for guys that they kind of knew about. I'm sure they've scouted him. From what I've heard, I think he's pretty good with speed and his arm. I think his hitting could use some improving, but I think other than that, it's a pretty good move. And their final pick of this part of the draft was from Michigan. The 69th pick was Clark Elliott. And so it's also good to get another college player, maybe some more experience there. He's also an outfielder. He's 21. He's a left-handed outfielder from Michigan. And also, pretty good player. I'd say his skill level is pretty similar to that of Bolte. Henry Bolte, that is, not Sky Bolt. But yeah, I think it's a pretty good player. He's not bad at all. And he had a very good season with Michigan. He had 16 homers, and he's fast, 19 stolen bases, and a 337 average. So not bad at all there. But I think, the A's, obviously, with the depth they have in the prospect pool, we'll see where these guys go. But yeah, those are their first three picks. Obviously, the MLB draft, like I said, very lengthy, very long, a lot of rounds, a lot of guys that, unfortunately for them, won't ever see the majors. But I think these guys have a good chance considering that they were picked pretty early. So yeah, anyways, guys, let me know your thoughts on these picks. I'll see you guys later, and yeah, go A's.